Okay, everyone, welcome to For the Love of Cooking with Chef Laura Strath. This is week 8 of the spring 2021 season. We are so glad that everyone decided to return to join us today. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you're watching us from YouTube, I hope you check out some of our other videos. All right. In terms of participating live with us, we do have the chat box function enabled if you have any questions that you want to send in. If you're having a little bit of technical difficulty, you can also message me privately. My name's Daniel. I assist with moderating some of our free virtual programs, and I can see what I can do from my end. We do ask that you keep yourself on mute unless you have a question or maybe you want to send in a tip to Chef Laura. Otherwise, this is open to the public, so everyone just be kind to one another and let's enjoy this time around some lovely food. You'll likely notice that this program has begun recording, and that is just so we can upload these for folks to enjoy at a later date. I will do my best not to speak anymore and allow Chef Laura to walk us through a lovely evening where we are preparing, Chef?
We are preparing mini cheesecakes tonight.
Mini cheesecakes.
Yeah, super easy. I'm so glad everyone could join me. Thank you for coming. So with cheesecake, guys, the main trick here is that you want to make sure that everything is at room temperature, and I mean everything. So like your cream cheese is at room temperature, your sour cream is at room temperature, eggs are at room temperature. The reason for this is that it really affects the final outcome. So if you have your cream cheese at room temperature but your sour cream is cold, then what it's going to do when you incorporate it in, it's going to make the sour cream, or the sour cream's going to chill the cream cheese, and then you'll get those lumps in there. So that's not what we're looking for here. So again, if your eggs aren't at room temperature, you can quickly do that by putting your eggs into some warm water for about 5 minutes, and then that will bring them to room temperature. Okay. So with this, we're going to start with our graham cracker crumb base. Now I've already have some that are pre-crumbled, but if you can't find the pre-made crumbled mix, you can actually use the wafers. Okay, so you can put these in your food processor, you can pulse them until you get a nice fine crumb, or you can just put them in a Ziploc bag and then just roll them out with a rolling pin. Okay, so what we're going to add to this is just a pinch of salt. So honestly, just like a tiny pinch, so just about this much. Okay, we're going to put that in. I'm going to give it a quick stir. And then we're adding in a 1/4 cup of melted butter. Okay, so if you have salted butter, then that's okay. You can just omit the salt. Now I know that there's lots of recipes out there that call for sugar in your graham cracker mix. You can put a little bit of sugar in there if you'd like. Okay, so we're just going to mix this together until it starts to hold. So what I mean by that is you'll be able to push it together and it will stay. Mini cheesecakes are so quick, and they're pretty much no fail in your oven as well. I know with the larger cheesecakes, you have to worry about a water bath or having it overdone. You get the big crack down the middle. It's always a little bit disappointing.
Hi, Daniel. Or Laura, sorry. I tried to do a thing, the chat is going straight to Laura and not Daniel. So
Oh, thank you. Let me see if I can fix that.
Oh, how much crumb? So sorry, I know I usually work in grams at home, so I usually try to get that organized that it's in cups. So it's probably just about a cup of graham cracker crumbs.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so once we've got that organized, then I'm just going to use my muffin tin, and I'm just going to put my liners in. So this should make about 12. And the cream cheese too, it should just be a bar of cream cheese, not the tub of cream cheese. Okay. Is everyone okay with this step so far? Okay. So you're just going to put about a good spoonful in here. This is my favorite part of the cheesecake, is the base. So even if you wanted to, you could add some toasted ground nuts if you'd like. That's always nice. Or you could make it a chocolate crust or Oreo. Okay, so when you've got these in here, I'm just going to use the just the bottom part of my rolling pin, and I'm just going to press it down in my cup. But you could use a spoon if you like, or if you have a glass that fits the circumference of your liner, then you can also use that too.
Jeff, I'm just seeing that we've had some folks join in a little bit late, so just letting everyone know we are making mini cheesecake.
Mini cheesecake.
Mini cheesecake.
So what we've done so far is we've just prepared our graham cracker crust. So all that's in here is about a cup of crushed graham crackers, a pinch of salt, and a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter melted. And then we've put a spoonful into each of our cavities, and we're just pressing the mixture down so it's a little bit more compact on the bottom. Okay?
Thank you, Chef.
No worries. These are really cute too if you do them in your little mini tins. Okay. Now some people like to just go ahead and put the filling on top like this. Some people like to pre-bake these for about 5 minutes. That makes a nice crispy bottom. That's what I like to do myself, but if you like the bottom to be a little bit more soft when you're cutting through, then don't bake. Again, it's an optional step. But I've got my oven preheating already to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. How's everybody's looking? Okay? So again, just an optional step. My oven's already preheated, so I'm going to pop these into my oven for about 5 minutes, just to kind of crisp this up. If you don't want to put it in the oven, then that's fine too. You can even you can just move on to the next step. Actually, I'm in this one. Okay. So I'm going to set my timer because I get distracted when I'm talking. Okay, I have even a little bit of extra mix, so I'm just going to keep it here, and then if I have extra mix in from my cream cheese mixture, then I can always make a few more. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do everything in my KitchenAid mixer. If you don't have a mixer, then that's okay. You can use a handheld mixer. Okay, and then the first step is just putting in our cream cheese. Okay, so I know that the temptation to put it on high is really great here, but we're just gonna always go on low speed. So the important thing that we're doing here is we are just breaking up the cream cheese so that it will be nice and not fluffy, but You don't want to incorporate any air, but you want it to be almost silky. And then I'm just going to get this off my paddle. Make sure you're using a paddle and not the whisk attachment, okay? Okay. This is looking good. So then we're gonna add in our eggs one at a time. Okay, so in goes one. We're just gonna let that mix. I'm just gonna scrape down my bowl. Always really important to keep scraping your bowl so you don't get those chunks at the bottom. See how it's starting to incorporate there. I'm going to add in my second egg. And then I'm going to add in my sugar. So I've done that backwards, but I'll tell you why. I'm just having a little bit more liquid in there, and that's going to help break down your sugar. So I'm just going to slowly add in the sugar, and again, just low speed. I'm just going to scrape down my bowl.
How much sugar is going in there, Chef?
Oh, sorry, it's half a cup. I'm just going to slowly add my sugar. So you're just, again, on low speed. You can see that your mixture is nice and smooth. I've got a few little lumps in mine, but that's okay. I'm going to scrape down my bowl. I'm gonna mix for maybe another 10 seconds or so, and then I'm gonna add in some vanilla and some freshly squeezed lemon juice and a little bit of flour. Okay. So I'm putting in about half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm just going to squeeze in about a tablespoon of lemon juice. So if you squeeze over your cupped hand, then you don't get any pits in there. All right, let me grab that out of the oven. Okay. So just slightly toasted. Okay. So I've got about a tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon.
Now, what does the lemon do, Chef? Like,
The acid just adds a little bit more flavor.
okay.
And then I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon and a half of flour, and that just helps to bind. Okay, give this another little scrape, and then I'm gonna add in my sour cream. adding in my sour cream. So this is just about a cup. And try to use full fat sour cream. Just gives a better product. Try not to use the no fat. I guess if we're gonna eat cheesecake, we might as well just eat cheesecake, right?
I heard you mentioned Oreos, so I know there's a few gluten-free folks on the chat, or on the chat, in the that attend the program. So Oreo released gluten-free Oreos, branded and everything, so you don't have to go to Glutino. You can get real gluten-free Oreos, and they taste pretty good.
Nice. If you are going to make the Oreo crusted, the gluten-free one as well, just try and use the cookie part and not the white icing part.
Could you add that to your mix?
I wouldn't. Maybe you could just have it for later. You can make your own double stuff. Okay, so just mix till combine, and then that is it. Okay, I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, so that's pretty easy, right? Let's do this a little. So mine's pretty smooth for the most part. I do have a few lumps in here, but that's okay. All right, so I've got my pan. So what I like to use, I actually just like to use an ice cream scoop. And then sorry, I'm working backwards here. So I like just to do a full scoop into each one. So you're filling them quite full, so at least 3/4 full. The ice cream scoop makes everything quick and easy and low mess. And it's nice too when you have the scoop, because then you can ensure that there's the same portion going in each one for even baking. I'm just gonna have enough for 12. Have a tiny bit left in my bowl, so I'll just add a bit to a few here. Okay. Everybody with me? Is good? So I'm just going to give mine a little tap just to release any air bubbles. And then you're ready to put them into the oven. So it's 320 degrees for about 15 minutes, okay? So no water bath needed. So the reason we don't need a water bath for that one is because we're not making something that is really dense and large. So the reason that they say for the water bath is that it cooks a little bit more gentle with just the water heating up. So usually the water heats up to about 215 degrees. And then you bake your cheesecake in the water bath so that it's a little bit more gentle cooking around the sides. If you are going to make a full-size cheesecake, try and bake at a lower temperature. I find low and slow is much better than a high heat. And I know a lot of people do the jiggle test. So it means that the outsides are set, but the inside is still a little bit jiggly. We'll do that a little bit with our cheesecakes because they're mini, but it's really not an accurate way to test a cheesecake. A cheesecake should be 145 degrees Fahrenheit when done, okay? So if you start to see a crack in your cheesecake, it means that you've already overbaked it, okay?
A chef used the term water bath.
So basically what that is, so you'll probably make it in a spring form pan. So it's a pan that has removable sides. So you would wrap your whole pan in aluminum foil, like up pretty high, and then you'll put it into a larger round dish, and then you put water into that dish. So it's about a quarter of the way, like quarter of an inch up around the your spring form pan.
Oh, so you actually bake it in water in the oven.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, one of the best cheesecakes I ever have made is actually in my Instapot. Yep, it's done in like 25 minutes.
Mary Ellen's asking when they ought to put toppings on.
Not until they're cooled.
Okay.
Okay, so cheesecake should normally, once it comes out of the oven, you're gonna let it cool to room temperature in your muffin trays. And then ideally, it's best to let them sit overnight to firm up, but 4 to 6 hours is a good benchmark if you wanna have them tonight. But I'll show you how to make a few toppings here too.
So you gotta stay up to midnight if you wanna eat.
If you wanna have your cheesecake tonight, then midnight's your time.
Okay.
Or tomorrow for breakfast. That could also work. Okay. So, you could either garnish your cheesecakes. You can do a lot of stuff with cheesecakes. So you can make, I'm gonna actually just put my timer on. I'm gonna put it on for 15 minutes though, so I can check. So you can always just use fresh fruit. You can make a caramel sauce. You can make chocolate sauce. You could make a coulis. You could make tons of stuff. So I'll just show you how to make a quick blueberry sauce for your cheesecake. Super easy. These are just about a cup of frozen blueberries, but you can use whatever you have in your fridge. So I'm just gonna put this in here, and I'm gonna add a bit of water. Like maybe a couple tablespoons, maybe about 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. Okay. And then I've got this lemon here. So I'm actually going to zest some lemon into my, oops. Let's see if this comes off. Here we go. This one's a bit different than mine. Tanya, maybe you've got more muscle than I do. See, I'm glad it's not just me. Okay, so the lemon's not essential, but so we're gonna put maybe medium heat, and I'm just gonna add a good tablespoon of sugar. We're just using a white granulated sugar, and we're just gonna cook this out. So the blueberries, once they start to heat, they'll start to pop a little bit. And then blueberries are actually really high in pectin, so the sauce will thicken as it cools. So we'll just leave that there. For now, I'm gonna put it just on medium. But again, you could use strawberries, you can use blackberries, you can use those mixed fruits that you get in the bag for your fruit smoothies. All right, so we'll bring this up to a boil. So if you don't actually have a zester, you can actually just use a little bit of lemon juice. I'm gonna put a little bit in there for flavor. And then you can actually just use a knife to make your own zest. So you can just very thinly cut some lemon, but you don't want the white part, which is the pith. You don't want that part. And then you can just make some nice fine slivers. I'll just cut a little bit.
The zester stuck with plastic wrap on it?
It's not, it's the protective shield.
Oh.
It's adult proof.
Childproof, yeah.
It was
Those can be tricky, you know.
those can be tricky. All right. So blueberries and lemons always go really well together. All right, so we'll let that cook out. Let's see what happens. All right. So remember to set your timer for a little bit less than the actual cooking time, just so that you can have a peek, because it's easier to add more time than take away time. So here we're just cooking out the liquid. Okay, and then we've got some fresh strawberries here too, so you can just either cut them in half and have them on your cheesecake, or you can do some slices. You can do lots of things. Right?
While we're prepping, Chef, should we let folks know what we're making next week?
Oh, so next week we are going to be cooking with rhubarb. So rhubarb season has begun. So we will be making a rhubarb compote and scones.
Also accepting any suggestions for celebrating Canada Day as well. We've been asked for a chef to create a Canada Day themed cooking video, and so we have to decide what we're going to make to commemorate Canada Day. So if anyone has any suggestions, we're all for it. Happy to hear. So basically, one of the weeks we'll end up doing in the future, we'll be recording and then releasing on Canada Day. But we got to think of something that's super Canadian.
We do have to think of something. Okay. I don't know, Daniel, do you have any traditional dishes that you have?
Beaver tails. Beaver tails is the first thing I thought of.
Yum.
Because this group, every time that you mention that we're going to be cooking something that's really sweet, everyone gets pretty excited. So, and
Lots
because
of
of,
bacon.
yeah. Oh, lots of bacon for Canada Day, yeah. A female bacon, maybe like a Eggs Benedict, be nice.
Or maybe we'll make vanilla cupcakes and we'll do some kind of a bacon garnish.
Nanaimo bars. Oh, Oma says thank you for the cheesecake tips.
Oh, you're so welcome anytime.
Butter tarts would be,
Oh, butter tarts, yeah.
that was in the
Strawberry
DM.
shortcake, great idea.
Are butter tarts Canadian?
I don't know.
Because we haven't done them.
We have not done them.
Nanaimo bars, I feel like they're Canadian because they're a popular Canada merchandise
Especially
product.
on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
We could do that. Those are kind of fun.
I feel like donuts are having a
Butter
moment too.
tart?
What's
Sorry,
that?
I just Googled the butter tart and it says, be that as it may, the butter tart is quintessentially Canadian.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's the debate. Does everyone like raisins in their butter tarts?
Raisins?
Yeah.
I can do raisins, I think. Kylie said thumbs up. So maybe butter tarts is a go.
Maybe butter tarts should be the thing.
What about donuts though? Like Tim Hortons, donuts?
Donuts are good too.
We haven't done donuts,
We haven't done donuts. That would be fun.
but I feel like the quintessentially Canadian. Okay, Savannah gives an a butter tart donut.
Ah. Okay. I love the creativity here.
Yeah. That one was sent anonymously via chat. Someone's having really unsavory thoughts. Bacon on butter tarts. Bacon on butter tart donuts. Bacon on butter tarts could be interesting actually. You know what? Like I'm sure on TikTok and stuff, because that's how people consume media now, there's always those like, ridiculously unhealthy food trends that everyone tries.
Yes.
So maybe we got to think of like a really, gluttonous food trend
Think
that
like
we
a
can start.
TikToker. Okay, so look at our blueberry compote here. It's beautiful. So you can see the liquid has cooked out. Our blueberries have burst, and it's going to thicken as it cools. Okay, so we're just going to put this to the side and let it cool down, and then let's just make a little bit of whipped cream maybe. Okay, so we're gonna go old school and do it by hand because we're not gonna do a large amount. So I've got a nice cold bowl that I've put in the freezer, and I've just got some 35% cream. Let's put a little bit in here.
I think Mary Ellen's just cheating. She just showed her canned
Did she
cream.
show a can? Oh my gosh. Mary Ellen.
This is the same person that suggested bacon butter tarts, so.
That's right. No whippets, okay? So when your bowls,
I'm doing a quick Google search here, Chef, and it looks like bacon butter tarts are a thing.
okay. I will pull one for the team, making bacon.
You could do some faking bacon.
Some coconut bacon.
Kylie Road maple bacon donut.
With the coconut bacon. I will make a pork product.
Maple bacon.
Okay, so it's starting to thicken up. Okay, so I'm going to add a touch of vanilla to this. So we are going to make this into what's called a chantilly. So that means that it is a sweetened whipped cream. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of icing sugar. So make sure if you are whipping with cream on your mixer, just not to overmix, because if you keep going, it's going to turn into something resembling butter. Okay. And then you can either pipe this on your cheesecake, or you can do a nice canal. So I'll show you how to do a canal. There we go. There we go. All right. So I have about 3 minutes on my cheesecakes. I'm just going to have a quick peek in my oven. They're looking good. And because we are the magic of TV, I've got some already cooled down. So this is what they look like when they are chilled for about five or 6 hours. Okay, so then all you do is you gently peel away the edges. These freeze really well too. So then you've got your...
Do they have to cool before you freeze them?
Yes. Okay, so looking good. Yeah, that way they, if you put them in the freezer when they're still hot, you're kind of going into the temperature danger zone.
How are we gonna know when these are ready?
Like out of the oven, you mean?
Yeah.
Usually the 15-minute mark is a pretty good time, but I'll show you. The edges will be set. Okay, so aren't these pretty? I'd love to say that's more than 2 bites, but for me, I'm going for 2. All right, let me just check. Okay, look, that oven's a little bit hot. All right, just remind me to get maybe a thermometer for that oven. So you can see that mine are a little bit overbaked because my oven is heating at a high temperature. I'm using a different oven today. We usually use the convection, but you can see that they're pretty solid. So because I've got some cracking here, these ones are overbaked. Okay.
Can you, I mean, will they still taste the overbaked ones? What should folks do with them?
Nope, they're still gonna taste fine.
Okay.
It's when you have a big one, sometimes it can, like if you have a lot of clumps in there, if your ingredients aren't at room temperature, then it can be a little bit on the grainy side or gritty, but these ones will be fine. I'm gonna turn off my oven here. Okay. So just mental note about that one. Okay. Okay, so these ones are gonna be okay. All right, so to finalize, you can either just, put some nice fresh fruit on, or...
It's a great question in the chat, and I've
Oh,
great joy asking it. Is a little jiggle okay?
a little jiggle is fine. Oopsie. A little jiggle in the middle is okay
That's perfect, thank you.
for your cheesecake.
That was enough.
Okay, so if you're going to be using your blueberry sauce, then you can just put some right on top. Okay. Easy. If you're gonna make a canal, I'll show you how to do that. I'm just gonna get a little bit of warm water going. These will make you look really professional. Okay, so I've just got a jug here with some warm water. So basically you're going to use your warm spoon, and then you're just going to take your spoon and then just get a big spoonful, and then you're just going to gently just kind of rub it on the side of the bowl so that you get a nice shape on your spoon. And then you can put it like right on your dessert so it looks like this. So I'm trying to get a better angle. Okay, so I'll show you again. So it's important to use a nice warm spoon. Okay, so if you're making a canal, you're just taking a little bit on your spoon, and then you're just basically kind of rubbing it on the side of the bowl just to make a nice, like a nice shape. Okay, so let's put that on the side here. Okay, I'll show one more time. So just a little spoonful. The nice thing too, if you have those teeny tiny spoons, you can make little mini ones, and those are really cute. So then you can just even put it on your plate, and then even if you wanted to, you could garnish. So it's really endless what you can do here. Or if you have a chocolate sauce, or you can put some nut brittle. Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Thanks. Does anybody have any questions? Which one?
Doesn't look like
Oh, the
there's any
side.
questions, Chef. I see some thumbs up coming from the chat. I
Nice.
hope everyone's turned out okay at home. I know you can't show us yet because yours will need to sit for many hours.
Yes, cheesecake's one of those things that you do have to, I know it's tempting to dig in right away, but it's best if you do let them sit in the tin to cool at room temperature, and then once they're room temperature, then you can put them into the fridge. Okay, so if you were to freeze these, what you would do, you let them cool down, and then you can put them into an airtight container or a Ziploc bag. Make sure you just date and label, and then they are probably good for about 3 months in your freezer.
Wow.
And then when you're ready to have them, then you just pull them out the morning of and put them in the fridge. But quick and easy.
Great.
Ah.
Okay, well, if no one has any questions, I'm just going to write, because I haven't seen this happen in a while, so maybe there's just a reminder needed. So I'm going to write the email publicart.oakville.ca. So I mentioned that we post all of the videos up to YouTube at a later date. If you want to have your final product kind of added to the end of the video, we're happy to do that. So just shoot a photo over to public.art@oakville.ca, and I'll tie it into the end of the video, so when folks are seeing, they can see some of your finished products. But otherwise, Chef, thank you for your time this evening, and everyone, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for coming tonight. Enjoy your cheesecakes.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Chef, you are the host, so you will have to end us this evening.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, everyone.